Hi, my name is Carrie Baldwin, and I will be presenting a project called Students at Risk for my educational psychology class. What is a student at risk? A student at risk is a student who is in danger of ruining their grades and not graduating. Many college students are referred to students at risk because of their higher risk factors for ruining their grades. Many students, such as high school and grade school students, can also be considered students at risk. However, I will be focusing on college students for this project. This is a map of large colleges within the U.S. that are considered popular for each state. As you can see, I have Ohio University within Ohio and such. Here are 6 common risk factors for students at risk in college. 1 is economic status, 2 is poor academic history, 3 is behavioral problems, 4 is poor health, 5 is poor family environment, and 6 is poor community environment. For number 1, economic status, which is typically lower class, students struggle with lack of money for tuition and books, and also stress over loan debt. 2 is poor academic history. If students have poor academic history, they have poor study habits and usually do not complete assignments, therefore affecting their grades. 3 is behavioral problems. Many students are not interested in learning and therefore do not pay attention in class and risk their grades because of this. Poor health is number 4, and these students also often miss class because of poor health and whatnot. Number 5 is poor family environment. This leads to students stressing over family issues, therefore affecting their grades. This often happens because students are homesick or have a poor family environment that leads to high stress, such as yelling, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and such. Number 6 is poor community environment. Many schools have drug abuse and alcohol abuse, which lead to students being distracted when it comes to schoolwork. This is a chart of the biggest problems on campus, and I have cost of education at 63%, stress at 38%, alcohol abuse and binge drinking at 32%, student loan debt at 25%, lack of adequate financial aid at 17%, drug abuse 16%, lack of adequate parking 16%, drunk driving 15%, inability to enroll in a required course 12%, bullying by other students 11%, sexual assault 10%, low job placement rate of graduates 8%, lack of access to academic advisors 7%, hazing in school clubs or organizations 7%, student credit card debt 6%, students not academically prepared for college 5%, theft of personal property 5%, student spending and impulse buying 4%, racial tensions 2%, ethnic tensions 1%, and religious tensions 1%. These are college behaviors that can lead to a student being a student at risk. Homesickness is a very common one because students experience homesickness can lead to some students going home more often than they should. This can lead to the student not being as involved in the school environment. Another behavior that can lead to being a student at risk is adjusting to new freedoms and a new environment. Many freshman students and new transfer students have to adjust to a new freedom because they do not have their parents there to tell them no. Many struggle with no curfews and having total control of how they spend their time. Another thing students struggle with is time management skills, setting their priorities straight, doing homework instead of socializing, going to parties, and such. Many students are part of Greek life, such as sororities and fraternities. And while Greek life is great for students to make friends, it is a major distraction when it comes to schoolwork. Another risk is living with a roommate. Many students have not had roommates before, therefore it can be a big struggle for them to learn to live with someone else. Many students get stuck with roommates that are messy and that they have a hard time getting along with. Therefore, some students leave their room altogether and do not spend time studying, instead do other things. Another thing that can lead to a college student being a student at risk is poor health habits. This includes poor diet, lack of exercise, excessive drinking of alcohol, drug abuse, and a poor sleeping schedule. Poor sleeping habits may lead to a student skipping class and excessive napping during the day. Poor eating habits can lead to students overeating to make up for their fatigue, in turn, weight gain. Another risk factor for college students is a small income tight budget. This may lead students to put work before school. Now that you know all the ways that you can become a student at risk, here are 6 ways that you can avoid being a student at risk. You can prioritize schoolwork. You can do this by making lists, to-do lists, study, going to class, turning in assignments on time, giving yourself rewards for getting assignments done. Examples of this would be going out with friends, going out to eat, napping, etc. Another way you can avoid being a student at risk is taking care of yourself. Going to bed in a reasonable time, eating healthier, such as smart food choices, smaller portions, and avoiding alcoholic beverages. Number 3 for avoiding being a student at risk is learning time management, finding a balance between school, work, and friends, and learning to say no to fun when you need to. Here are the last 3 ways to avoid being a student at risk. Sticking to a budget by avoiding impulse buys, writing down a budget, and putting money aside for things like savings, gas, personal hygiene, and fun money. 5 ways to de-stress when you feel school is too stressful for you is taking study breaks, nap, socialize with friends, and find someone to talk to and confide in when you're stressed. This can be someone such as friends, family, teachers, or a counselor. The last way to avoid being a student at risk is partying responsibly. If you must party, only do so on the weekends. Finish schoolwork before going out. You do not have to drink to be social and have fun at parties. However, if you must drink, drink responsibly. Avoid drugs. Do not party alone. Stay with a group. Do not leave your drink unattended. Have a designated driver. Do not be afraid to set boundaries and say no to sex. Practice safe sex if you do so. And here are my references. Thanks for watching.
Go back to the references.
Why? Just